Hello.
Right, good afternoon.
Oh my God. There you go. That's what happens. That's what happens when the person who leads goes away.
I've got us on our phone just so I could share it out like I normally do. And it's like, hang on, we've got to say hello first.
I know. I have the notification come up anyway, but never mind. It's looking all doomy and grey here. I haven't been out. The going out kind of seems to have stalled a bit, but notwithstanding, it's just looking very, very gloomy out there.
My husband's off this week and he took the dog out for a walk early and it was still pitch black. It's not getting very light very soon at the minute. It's proper change of weather.
I know, change of weather. So there you have it. But apart from that, it's good. We're thanking God for another day. It's all good. How are you, Shelley?
I'm good, thank you. Yes, I've got husband off this week, so it's kind of like jobs needed doing around the house. So it's like, I'm hanging in.
Give me my honey-to-do list. The honey-to-do list.
How are you getting on, Nico?
Oh, it's all good, thank you. I'm still aching for my camp, even though that was 2 weeks. Well, not 2 weeks, but not this weekend gone by, the weekend before. But we're still having little aches from it because, it takes us oldies a bit longer to recover. But other than that, no, it's good. It's good. Work is busy. And half term is coming and we're going away. So it's all good.
Yeah. Hold on half term. It doesn't feel like they've been in school all that, like back to school all that long. But yeah, half term coming up. Although Scotland is already in half term.
Oh, I didn't realise that those holidays were different as well.
I know their summer normally changes, but I didn't realise that their half term does as well. It's okay. I was watching Court TV live because someone was being they were getting their from the judge to say how many years that they had to face. Yeah. And yeah, there was all sorts of different people in the chat and it's like, hello from Scotland, good job I don't have to wake up in the morning because this is taking ages. And it was a kind of, oh yeah, because we're already on half term. I was like, wow.
Okay, all right. Okay, so where do we go? What do you want to talk about first?
We were saying about last week's show and saying that all about your digital footprint and what sort of things kind of happen and is your phone listening and all that kind of stuff. I don't know about anyone else when they're now watching this, what they've actually found that's then come up, because I've had a few conversations, not even searching on my phone for what we're talking about, but had a few open conversations with people, and then Facebook has then decided to bring up an advert for what we were talking about. I've had that more often now.
Yeah.
So I've gone into my phone settings and switched things off, because I did used to be able to say, oh, like Google, can you, quite often. Now, because I now realise it's listening to everything to catch up with when you ask for it to do something, that just how much it's picking up on. But
yeah, well, you're actually quite generous because you're saying it's listening because it wants to be quick, right?
Yeah, it's kind of what it's meant to be doing. The official line.
Yeah, no, I think this is the thing. And that's not even a digital footprint, is it? This is one where you're going about your business. You're just talking and doing things, and then all of a sudden it's popping up. I mean, My most recent one was, yes, to be fair, and it is logical because cookies do follow you, even essential ones. So I booked flights to go to Tenerife next week. Oh, I won't be here next week, by the way. Oh, I'll be here next week, the week after. I've lost track of the dates there. I'll be here next week, the week after, to go to Tenerife. And I was minding my own business. I'm going into my banking app to pay for a bill, and what pops up? Oh, your trip is nearly upon you. Now, bearing in mind, the only interaction that this banking app had with me booking this flight was when I presented my debit card to pay for the tickets. I didn't go in the app to book the flights. And it said, do I want to buy euros? And that it can be delivered to your nearest Lloyd's, which is all the way in Blooming Town now. That's another bugbear we could talk about another time. And I just thought, oh, so the banks are listening. Everybody's listening. And it's getting to the stage where really and truly, for anybody who watches sport, like football, for example, like when you see the players, when they're coming off at halftime, they're talking to each other and they're doing like this. I'm beginning to feel that is how we're going to have to behave with everything. Because obviously WhatsApp and Facebook are owned by the same company.
Yeah.
Apple has actually conceded, apparently. I don't know if it's gone through Parliament, I don't know, but I have noticed certain settings you do not have them anymore, where the UK government has insisted that it's not doubly encrypted. I think it's only single. Whereas before it used to be all this end-to-end and stuff like that. You could lock down your, for anybody who has an iPhone, you remember you could literally lock down your username and stuff there, so that even if your phone was stolen, people could not access it. You can no longer do that anymore. And the thing is, I'm not going to lie, I used to be one of those ones that said, well, I'm not a criminal, I've got nothing to hide, I don't care. But now, with the way data is presented, the way it's farmed, the way it's sold, even if it doesn't get in the hands of scammers, we do not know where this data is going.
Yeah.
And I'm beginning to understand that it's actually a bigger problem than I've really given it credit for. So for me, guys, for me today is just to give you that little warning. You just need to be careful of your digital footprint, because they're all at it. The shops are at it. The providers are at it.
With the shops and bits and pieces, I mean, it did. Now, whether it was because I looked up a few things to do with cybersecurity and recording you and things like that, but it did come up in my algorithms for Instagram that there was a woman that's that she's a lawyer, but she's doing similar things to what Louise was talking about, but she was looking at things and how you can actually help people. And then she was then saying, well, if you're ever presented with this at work, like the evidence of what you're doing, like your wrongdoing or whatever, if they've used video evidence of you, that you have to then say, well, did you actually put it in our contracts? Did you actually then tell me that you could record it? So like when you phone through to a call center and it says your call may be used for training purposes or whatever, especially when you're going through to insurance companies, they might then use that in court if you're trying to do a false claim. But they've told you at the beginning of the call,
yes,
it's to be recorded and used. They're then saying that there should be all this information out there, that you all should have been briefed, and it should be on a bulletin board somewhere, and it should be this, that, and the other, that they're actually using this kind of information against you as an employee of the company. And it was kind of like long-winded, and it did go into it quite a bit, but then you kind of like think, because all this information could be out there. Or you could get sacked because, supposedly you were off sick from work, but you've been recorded doing something that just proves that you're not sick, like in the way that you were, kind of thing.
Well, it's funny you should say that. Slightly different, because obviously I know we're going to talk about like self-care a little bit later, but that there where you've been recorded doing something, I mean, unless that something is against say for example, you've said you've got a broken leg, and then you're recorded having gone skiing or something like that. That's different. But do you know, that thing is so misconstrued often, because obviously sometimes people are off work, not necessarily with physical illness. It's a problem. This recording people, it's a
I
problem.
mean, you even saying about sickness and stuff. It came up with one of the people that's on Gogglebox. He's actually signed off from his job, but people were then saying, but he's then appearing on telly every week. Okay, well, yeah, he signed off for a particular reason from work. Doesn't mean that he can't be still doing things like that. Like, if I'm signed off for depression, it doesn't mean that I'm sitting here in front of the telly, staying at home, depressed all the time. I still need to get out and do things. But yeah, to actually have like video recordings or the voice recordings and actually used against you, you're supposed to have all of these signs up. So just the same as if you've got your house has then got like your Ring doorbell or security cameras that you're supposed to put up, like your CCTV, like a badge on the wall, or
this is why they say the law is an ass, though. Why should you have to put that up? It's your house. The Ring TV is there for you to see when people are coming to your front door, right?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. But I suppose it's like that thing.
But then the police don't actually then enforce anything. If there's something that happened on in the street and they say, oh, you've got a Ring doorbell or you've got CCTV, they'll come up to your door and say, is it possible that we can see your CCTV? I mean, you can say no. That's up to you whether you decide to give your evidence of what's going on in the street to the police. But yeah, they'll soon come up to you and then say, can we have a look at your CCTV? And then they won't then say, well, actually, you didn't have a sticker up. So, but yeah, our doorbell only records when you're within a certain distance on our drive.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have one.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Yeah, you can. It can be. I mean, the guy across the road from me has it on the top of his house, so he's recording the whole street all the time. And he can actually look back and see when you've walked up and down the road.
Yeah. It's quite interesting that actually, because on some developments now, it's actually written in their covenants you're not allowed to have them.
Yeah.
And they definitely can't necessarily put one by the main entrance door, whereas the one by the main entrance door, in my head, is the most useful one.
I mean, some of these new development, like housing developments, you haven't got that long a drive. You're bang opposite the house opposite you, so you could actually be recording your driveway, the road, their driveway and house. It's
Well, it's interesting. Going back to the point you were making about if an employer were to have those type of surveillance on there and it's not part of your contract, it's very interesting because obviously we know there's a lot of surveillance on the street in general. Like the police have got CCTV on there, you know, all the traffic cameras and all sorts of things there. And we don't live in a police state, so it's kind of. But my point is, would the same rules apply? Because obviously, so far as my understanding of the law is that you do not have to incriminate yourself. You know, that's why you can say you're not answering. You know, you don't have to incriminate yourself, and yet you could just be walking along the street and you're being recorded.
We have actually got Bedfordshire is one of the first police counties, so Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire it would then be, wouldn't it? That's actually then got the face recording for like when you've got big groups of people. So for instance, like when you go down to the football or anything else, they've got the van that does the facial recognition and recording, because they actually trialled that at the Bedford River Festival.
Okay.
Looking in at the crowds. So they could actually then see, it would then come up that if you was rowdy, if you was given like to be told to get out the city centre because you've been drinking too much or whatever else, and you're given one of those dispersal orders, that you then got to leave if you've come back in again. Or they could, in theory, then pick up anyone that's then like out on bail and is supposed to be like bringing them back in again. Yeah, so it's you actually then do get a lot of footage that they've then got, and it does that facial recognition. So it will look in and it will say that the points where your eyes are and your mouth is and the nose and things, and it will then say if you look alike to someone else. But yeah, so we're one of the first policing areas that's actually got that in the country.
Wow.
I've forgotten exactly what they call it, but yeah, it's scary to then think that they're watching you all the time. And there's been like sci-fi kind of programs about this for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's now all coming true.
I know, because we
facial
are the
recognition.
generation that overtook Star Trek. The only thing we've not got is the teleporter, but everything else we've got.
Yeah, that would be so much easier, wouldn't it?
Oh my God, but when
Which
you're
means
talking
it's
about,
always just that couple of minutes late. Yeah.
imagine, I'll still be the one that, you know, that 10 seconds that you need, I will still be the one getting in there with 1 second to go. It's just crazy. Anyhow, with the last point I wanted to make, where you've actually segued into it nicely, is where they're recognizing the faces there, because obviously it has come to our attention that the shops are using similar surveillance. So my suggestion is everybody needs to go in there with their, no, just joking, but on a sincere note, this thing is becoming more and more pervasive in our lives, and it has gone beyond, well, you know, I'm a clean living person, I've got nothing to hide, because your data can accidentally end up where you don't need it to be. And the only time you will find out is maybe when you go to apply for credit, or you will need to get a DBS certificate where you could have been wrongly accused in a store. It could be anything that is happening. And, you know, it's almost like the due process seems to be getting shorter and shorter, and bits of it are getting cut out without our knowledge. That's really what I'm saying about, I think it's very important that we need to be vigilant.
I mean, they're kind of taking this, that the information that they're getting is so great, it must be true. And they're not, they seem to be jumping to conclusions from it without actually then having the, we believe this is you kind of, you know, like your introduction. So it's, if it's a letter, if it's someone come knocking on your door, it's pulling you to one side if you're in the shop at the time, that it's kind of using that as a tool against using that as that is what's happened.
Yeah.
Because even if you look at, I'll go back to sports because it's the only thing I've been watching recently that can kind of explain it. I watch a lot of NFL football, and you'll have a line judge that will then say, no, that didn't happen. From my perspective, he didn't have the ball correctly in his hand. But if you look at the video footage from one side, no, he didn't. If you look at the video footage from the other side, yes, he did. The truth needs to come from different parts of the same picture. This is the same with some of this video footage or stills that they then get in shops. It's, this is you. This has got to be you. You might happen to be in the same store at the same time. I mean, how many people have you bumped into in life that says, oh, you remind me of so-and-so. You look like so-and-so. You could actually be in a shop at the same time as someone like that, oh, this is you because, oh, we saw that you paid by card and you was in the store at the same time, and this is a picture of you, but it might not actually been you. Can you show me the proof that what you've got of the video or the stills from the video, that it's me that's stolen something, for instance? And And if they can't provide that, I mean, at what point do you actually then say, actually, I need to get a lawyer. I don't believe that was me, and argue the fact. If you've not given me the information, or the information which they're supposed to do, going back to what I said about this lawyer that was saying what was going on in workplaces,
Yeah,
that you could then say, right, okay, I need you to provide me with the information that you've got before I'll actually say anything about what you've accusing me of. You're apparently well within your rights to then say that, which is why lawyers will always say to people when they're in front of the police on that first interview, it's always no comment, because they want the police to show them exactly what they've got against that person. Then I might then say, oh, actually, yes, it was me. Because I won't say, yes, it was me, because if you haven't got enough evidence that it was me, I'm going to argue the fact.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
but yeah, to actually jump from this is your picture to I'm going to ban you from a shop, for instance, that, hang on a minute, there's this bit in between that is kind of, you can't take that as gospel, that
Yeah,
that's my
but
picture and that was
also
me.
I'm beginning to think, how do I say this now without coming across as a snob? Because look, right,
Just say it. Go on.
the thing is, I have a live example which I'm not going to go into. Right? Okay, I have explained this to Shelley before we came online, but
Yeah,
when
we
you
are
look at
tiptoeing
the
around
nature
this thing.
of the shops that are doing this thing, you are looking at your B&Ms we're basically looking at the bottom rung of the shop. No shade, I shop in all of those shops that I could
Yeah,
mention that use this type of things there. Um, and I would expect that Lidl and Aldi and all those other places are going to follow suit as well. Um, but it just makes me feel that the people who are using this, either they don't care or they think that the main majority of their customers are stupid. And the thing is, it goes back to a point that Louise made last week when she mentioned the fact that the type of governance and things that she's looking at, that it will start with the point of procurement.
yeah,
So in my head, with these low-level stores being so pervasive in our society, why are they not early adopters of being responsible with how they use these type of things? Because I'm always late to the party. So if I'm getting a live example of it, I can't even bear to think of how many of these things have happened and have gone unchallenged.
yeah.
You
Yeah, because
see?
if we're tiptoeing around this, in theory, as we talked about it when you were saying about what we know, um, that from the procurement, so from the video footage that went to another company that's actually seen this video footage and want to accuse someone for stealing, that company. So you could have 5 or 6 different stores that they look after, chains of stores that they look
Yeah.
after. Does that then mean that they will share that information with other companies that they work with?
Yep.
That we've got this one particular person that's going through our system. So you could then be banned from 5 or 6 different chains of shops when it might not actually be you in the first place.
Yeah.
At what point could they change? Could they share that information? Are they allowed to? If they
Well,
do
it
share
goes
that
back to,
information,
yeah.
when do they share that information? Before you've had a chance to then say, actually, it was not me. What has now happened to this, like, innocent until proven guilty thing?
Well, that's what I say. The due process has been shortened
Yeah,
because to me, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense whatsoever. And like I always say, in all circumstances, murderers, people who murder somebody, even when they're caught with the knife in their hand, have a right of reply.
yeah,
So for you to have something that looks like you did something, but on the balance of probability, you probably didn't do something, and then it's going to be on
yeah.
the record somewhere that you did it. It's totally preposterous in 2025. Honestly,
Yeah.
you can't even make it up. And it's
I
again, it's
mean, I
all
mean,
about money,
and this
protecting
is,
the assets.
yeah, and this is just the UK. I mean, what's actually happening in America? I mean, they've got a different way of their governing system. How they do interviews when you're with the police and everything is all just a bit different. They just kind of want to close their cases quite often, and because I do watch a lot of court TV, but it's it just seems to be that they'll come at it a different way. And for a country that always seems to be, oh, they will sue each other for everything, it's kind of, yeah, madness how things can happen.
Indeed, but we ourselves, we are slowly edging down that route, and we're much further into it than you think, because you just think of certain things that you have to do that you can't say. I mean, yeah, it's just crazy. Anyhow, guys, look after yourselves. Look after your digital footprint. Be diligent. And wear a balaclava when you're going to B&M's.
Yeah. Well, while you're now thinking of, I'm going to say the C word, for the Christmas shopping, we've only got, 2 paydays till Christmas? Wow.
Oh,
Um, that,
toads.
yeah, when you're thinking about when you're out and about in the shops, yeah, I wonder if, because you always used to get security guards, now you don't. Now you just get
Oh,
cameras everywhere.
there are security guards there. There are, but I just wonder what they do. I just think they just want an easy life. They're probably there scrolling their phone. Um,
Possibly, yeah. I
it's
mean,
just crazy.
I used to work in like what was the Arndale Centre, a couple of different like clothing kind of shops, and we used to be able to like look out for people that and the way that people used to steal their clothing and stuff. That, yeah, you've got the woman walking around with the buggy and they lean the baby forward and all the clothes would get put down the back, or someone would be standing there rolling up the clothes, put them down, so you then look at them, but then someone else has come in and picked up an easy package to walk out the shop with.
Yeah.
The person that was setting it up is not the person that was taking it away. Now people just seem to be more blazoned by it. They just, yeah, I'm just going to put it in my bag
I
and walk
went.
away.
I
Which
saw
is,
one. I went into the B&M's on Dunstable, at Dunstable, the one opposite the Lidl on Dunstable Road
yeah,
there. And I was walking in, and literally this guy came running out. He had, I don't know, he had some big box in his hand, and then the security guard and the and staff were chasing them. And my first thought was, number one, if I was the security guard, why are you chasing this person? Why?
yeah.
Number two, and then you that you're the shop member, you're on barely on minimum wage, and you're chasing somebody out of the shop for an item that is, oh,
Yeah.
but yeah. But I thought to myself, and how brazen are you to literally just pick up something and run? You're very confident of your legs that you're not going to trip or anything like that.
that'd be me. I get 2 steps, bump into someone, run into a wall, trip over the thing that I'm carrying, get to the car, and won't be able to get my keys out in time.
Oh my god, I know that was funny that day. I just thought, oh my god.
But yeah, they are getting more and more blazing with it. They just sort of, yeah, in the bag, and they just, yeah, and
Crazy. So there you go. Digital footprint.
yes, it's as soon as you have a little bit of information, and then you really start thinking about more and more about what
Yeah. The other thing
yeah.
is, talking of that, actually, I think it's quite a nice segue, because one thing I do like about this electronic life is that you do not have to physically change your clocks.
No.
It all happens for you automatically. You just wake up and your clock is an hour forward or it's an hour backwards. So,
Yeah, apart from so that we're live on the show, and I'm going to show this up on the screen. Hang on. We're live on the show, and our colleague has then decided to – 'cause, 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 'c Share a picture with us.
Oh my Lord. Oh dear, that's funny. I've been to the
She's like,
Colosseum
she
for
knows
years.
exactly what we're doing. Love you, Cecile, but go away.
That is funny. I saw it coming. I'm like, what is Cecile up to? Oh my Lord.
But
Well,
yeah, I suppose that is another segue with what we was gonna say as well. Bit of
I know.
self-care. Bit of self-care. But so Cecile's away in Rome, as you could see then, live from the Colosseum. You've got a holiday booked. I haven't got a holiday booked. I'm going down to see my mum, but this is supposed to be the same thing. What
Well,
are other
I
people
suppose it
doing out
depends
there
on
for
how you view
self-care?
life. You're going to see your mom, but it's nice because you're going to the one person in the world that's guaranteed to love you unconditionally after God. You can't beat that. You cannot beat a mother's love.
Proper cuddles.
I
I
know.
get to see the sea. That always calms me. Seeing the sea or being next to water. So by lake, a river. Yeah, I'm definitely a water person.
Oh
Um,
wow.
not so much in it, on it, yeah, fine. Next to it, fine. But yeah, definitely that's because we did say about adding in a little bit of self-care at the minute because we've got kids about to go on to half term. Are you going away with them? Are you sort of staying at home because you just had a full-on summer? The weather's changing. People have started getting colds.
And
It's
it's dark. It's the
dark.
darkness.
Dark. I was just saying before we came on. Husband's off work this week, and he took the dog out for a walk rather than me, and he goes out earlier, and it didn't. The sun didn't come up until halfway round his walk. You see, it was pitch black when he first went out this morning. So even waking up, going to work, kind of thing, you're getting up in the dark, which is
Yeah.
not a great start to the day. What is everyone doing for their self-care at the minute? I don't know about anyone else. My skin has changed, and I don't know whether it's being in different environments like the weather, heating on, that kind of thing.
Have you got your heating on?
I haven't got my heating on. When I went down to my mum, mum has always got the heating on. Since we lost dad, mum is now in charge of the heating. She goes, if I want it on, I'll put it on.
Well, that
Dad
one I just blame her.
always used to go and say, go put another layer of clothes on before I actually put the heating on.
Oh, persons. Well, that's it. But you know what? It's funny actually because you say that. That's for me. That level of self-care, it's double, isn't it? Because obviously you're physically cold, but also if you know you've got heating and you can't have it on, for me it kind of affects me. It affects my mood.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes in the office I get quite grumpy because it will be really cold and other people will be saying it's hot, and I was like, oh well, and I'm like, I've already got like 3 layers on. You know, you're going to work with 3 layers on in the summer. You have
Yes.
that is in preparation for the fact that the air conditioner is going to kick on, and that it blasts out. It's really cold on the back of your neck, and yes, I know somebody somewhere might hear this and think, "Oh, well, that's a privilege problem," but you've got to
Yeah.
be able to
You
look
have,
after yourself to know that.
yeah. Working in call centres, I think one of the major bugbears is this time of the year with the settings of the aircon, because you'll have people too hot, people too cold, and the way that it blows. Every call centre I've been in, that's always been the argument, always. And then some manager comes over and starts pressing the buttons, and he's like, "You've actually made that 10 times worse now." trying to change it, but yeah, there's always this kind of weather's always got the chill to the air, and once you've actually feel that chill, that's it. It feels damp.
Yeah. So what do you do in preparation for that, Shelley?
Yeah, for me, sort of like self-care around about this kind of like time. I like being out as much as I possibly can, but it's I suppose with the weather and kind of stuff, it's always layers because I get quite warm. I do get quite warm, and you always like turn around. It's like everyone else is cold, and I'm sitting there in a t-shirt. But I know that everyone else around me will want to feel warm, so I've just got to adapt to it. All these people that kept saying, "Oh, you're hot," but you've dressed for like the wrong place. And then the dark nights and things. It is that I've got a couple of blankets and bits and pieces and sort of snuggle in to watch telly or whatever. Um, but I do know that I feel worse when it's dark, so I do try and be out in the sun, in the sunlight, in the brightness as much as possible.
Yeah, that's
Are you
interesting.
finding that because you do a lot of it, been doing a lot of exercise, walking and bits and pieces? Do you find that you don't want to get out? I
Yeah,
suppose you did do the mornings, didn't you?
I
Like
used to do the mornings,
in
and
the
it was
summer.
really nice. And I think it was really funny because I could actually tell how it went. You know, you did it initially because you wanted this, you wanted that, then you started enjoying it. And, you know, I was enjoying it to the extent that I extended it because last year when I did it, I was only going to do it up until the clocks went back.
All right.
And, but I was like, oh no. And then I did it, and then I did it all through this summer. Then I had to kind of swap it around. And of recent, I haven't been out. And I've been thinking to myself, oh, Nikki, you need to get out a bit. You need to get out a bit. And I do believe that that did actually help a lot with the dealing with the darkness. Because I think when you're out in it, like when you've been out when it's a little bit light and a little bit dark and it's got a lighter, it helps. Whereas when you're in the light and all of a sudden it is dark, I find it really depressing,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that is really where I will be going, getting my layers out, even if it's only for 10, 15 minutes in the morning. Um, there's that. And also, the other thing for me with this self care is to actually keep warm because I really, really struggle with being cold.
Yeah, but when you got cold, it's difficult to warm up.
Yeah,
Really difficult to warm up. Because even then, if you put you put your big jumper on or anything, it feels like that you're cold inside.
yeah,
So when you put the layer on, it's not actually helping, kind of thing.
yeah. It takes a long time. It does take a long time. And also, I don't know whether this is good or bad or not, but it's also trying not to make the change in light of whether slow you down too much. Because I had the next door neighbor here before, and I'm like, oh my God, Sam, I've not seen you for ages. She was like, oh yeah, it's winter, you know, because everybody's hibernating.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't really like that hibernation aspect of it. So I try to keep things as normal as possible, like keeping up with the gym, keeping up with taekwondo and stuff like that. Whereas really your most natural urge is to stay indoors, but I try to combat that.
Yeah. I think when it comes closer to Christmas itself, and not so much nowadays, but it did always used to be that, oh, so and so's got a party, so and so's got a gathering, oh, we'll go around to so and so's for dinner. And I'd be like, I've worn out even before I've even gone. I can't get my head round going. And I mean, if you're not feeling so great, where you're kind of like, oh, false smiles and, oh, yeah. Um, and Christmas is always an odd one anyway, because it's supposed to be for the children. And when you haven't got children yourself, it's kind of, you kind of take it up to a certain point, and then for me, it was always then kind of like, oh, I've reached that point, and I have got like certain best friends that then know that, right, okay, if you need to go, just go, just yeah. And they always used to say it to me. Now they're older. Now it's all fine because you just kind of like mucking around with them. But yeah, it you kind of got summer that it's all a bit laid back, and you having barbecues, and it's yeah whatever, but it seems to be more this time of year, and then a lead up to Christmas. It's all kind of like all those kind of gatherings, and I don't know whether my brain wants to switch off before we even got to it.
Well, this is it, isn't it? Because one of the big things for self-care for me is to say no, and not just to say no, but to not feel bad or to feel guilty about it afterwards. Because saying no is easy. It's the onslaught of emotions afterwards that makes you then feel a bit down in the dumps. And it does. It gets a bit much. Everybody, all of a sudden, yeah, let's go here. Oh, it's Christmas, and I'm like, no. When was all this joy during the year? Or when I mean, obviously, you can segue into all sorts of family dynamics and stuff like that. There are people who only will themselves out at Christmas or at Easter and stuff like that, and it's like, no, that doesn't work. So if there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying no, but that's a tough one. That's one on my list that is easier said than done. Because sometimes, for some people, it's easier to suffer the consequences and deal with it, and then just feel like shit afterwards. So it's the choice, isn't it?
Yeah, you do get to that point of kind of you come out of somewhere and you're like, I don't know. Give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
It is, and it's important as well, especially like when you've got tugs on your time, like you mentioned. Obviously, there are those who have got kids, or you've got your godson or your nephews, and same here with nieces, nephews, godson. I mean, luckily, half of my lot are Muslims anyway, so. But it doesn't even that. But that doesn't even follow, because even growing up, like living with my mum in a Muslim household, we had everything. We had Christmas, we had Eid, we had the whole shenanigans, and it wasn't necessarily about giving presents and doing this and that. Although my mum, she was big on that, but it was all about the presents and the fellowship, and it was a lot. It was a lot.
I mean, you saying about presents and stuff. I mean, there are people that used to be part of like our group and stuff that they would always buy presents. That their group, you always had to get presents for each other, and I'm thinking, why are you adding to all of? I mean, okay, you're gonna get a present back from that person. That's not the issue, and okay, you're spending the money, but you're getting something back. But then it's kind of like you've got this extra pressure of 15, 20 presents that you're buying, as well as like your own family and your kids, that it's kind of what happened to this bit of Christmas that was. I mean, I've got friends nowadays that we just, it's a token gift. It's the £5-10, and whether it's that we're giving to each other or whether we do it as Secret Santa. So you put one present in and you get one present back, and you say that the price is this. Just because that's the part of it. It's not what you're spending on and having to go shopping and everything else. I never ever got that point of Christmas at all. I didn't.
My husband is pretty much the same. But having said that, he always does like to get me stuff. Sometimes I say, let's do it this year. And he'll still do it. And I wouldn't have done it. But he doesn't care. But then I'll feel guilty. It's hard. The point I'm actually making with that thing is that these are all skills. Some people learn them when they're 12. Some people don't learn them till they're 72. But there are skills that are worth considering and thinking. And sometimes I've learned it before, where you're in a situation where you're not happy and it's really kind of degrading, and yet people come to you with a very viable solution, and then you actually on purpose decide not to take that solution, and all of a sudden you realize that thing that you were fretting about that was making you distressed is not really that bad. So for me, really and truly, it's just about having the ability to be discerning and know what suits your physical and mental well-being and
Yeah.
take the boundaries accordingly.
Do you find that nowadays we don't really follow seasons? I was thinking this the other day, and I've just suddenly thought of it. That, for instance, like your cooking, we never used to be able to get all of the vegetables all of the time.
Oh
But
yeah,
now where you've got
100%.
things are coming in from all over the world, we haven't got seasons anymore.
100%, 100%. Because remember, Sandra always says it. Every year she sends out the list. And she says, only eat what is in season and otherwise eat what is grown locally and stuff like that. But, sometimes you want to have strawberries in December.
Yeah.
But
because my mum said it. My mum said it on the phone yesterday. Actually, we were talking about this year, all those wild bushes that you're scrumping from, are really, really full. This year, there's a lot of berries out there. There's lots of slow berries out there because my friend's, I think she's gone to the same couple of bushes twice to get the slow berries for Jing for Christmas. So there's a lot of berries. And Mum said it always used to be that if you had a lot of berries on the trees, on the bushes and stuff, it meant that the Mother Nature was making sure there was plenty of berries because it's going to be a bad winter. And I wonder if we're going to get that this year.
oh, don't. Someone else said that there where I was yesterday. I'm like, please do not predict that. We do not want bad winters. We do not. Even though I'm not going to be here at the, well, actually I say that, but our bad winters normally come in January, February,
In
March.
February, yeah. But yeah, so that always used to be the thing that they always used to say that if you've got a lot of berries, Mother Nature's provided them now because you've got to get through a bad winter. So I wonder. But yeah, it just made me think about it the other day. It was kind of like automatically I still go by what my mum was like because we used to get all the vegetables out of our garden when we was growing up. That it's now weather's changed like that. It's now soup season. You'd be getting all
Yeah.
the veggies in, putting them in soups, getting them in the freezer. Your taste buds, my taste buds change. That you're then craving like those stodgy kind of foods because it's colder and everything else. You want those comfort foods.
Yes, indeed.
But people don't really tend to follow seasons anymore. But yeah,
I think that's really because we do. I think it's just the landscape of the land. That's such a nonsense sentence. The landscape has changed, right?
yeah,
We've got we are, regardless. I know we are living in the cost of living and stuff like that. So there's no disrespect to people who don't have a lot of money for food, but we are living in quite abundant times. And everything is available, like you said, because they're imported, they're comforted. And then we've got the influx of the different cultures as well.
yes, yeah.
So we, like my food, like with the yams, the sweet potatoes, and they come out. I mean, like in Nigeria, they have like a new yam festival. So exactly like you said, everything is
Oh,
in a
yeah.
season. And don't ask me what it is because I couldn't possibly tell you. I think it might be in December, but I can't. I would have to ask Dennis or somebody. I don't know. But the point I'm making is that I believe that is probably reflective everywhere because you've got all the foods like the plantains, the yams, the sweet potatoes, even the greens. I mean, I don't really bother with the greens. I just use kale and spinach, but you can get the greens and stuff that come from
Yeah.
there and in the freezer in the local shops. So you've got a little bit of everything. I mean, butternut squashes seem to be available most of the year. I mean, now obviously with this season, you've got a proliferation of all the different squashes.
Yeah.
But there is always a squash all the year round, which is kind of strange.
Yeah. It is. It's a very odd one, and I just kind of thought that it was just how is that actually changing our bodies? How is that actually changing our point of view to how life used to be to what it's like now? Yeah, it's just
Do
really
you
odd
not
one.
think our physiology is changing to adapt to it though?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's kind of like what it is, and I think that's kind of possibly that's like the upset of certain for certain people. They're finding it worse because we're changing, and you're not actually then changing with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's quite interesting because obviously that's like three types of science we've covered there.
yeah. See, we talk about anything on it. It just goes with it.
I know it just goes. But it just goes to show there is a lot of stuff really to talk about. There's a lot of stuff, um, but then again, sometimes
It's sort of like they'll say that, oh, there's a change in this and there's a change in that, but if there's a change in what we're doing, there'll be a change in your body. So how is this how some of the mental health things kind of come out? Is this the reason why we've got quite a lot of people that are intolerant to certain foods because there's all these changes, because there's like we're going along with it, but the world, yeah, well, it
it's
hasn't changed that
very
much.
interesting because it's information and knowledge, isn't it? Because if you think about it, if you know, like some people say, oh well, your ancestors they didn't do this or that, but they did do this or that, but this or that was not available to them,
Wasn't
so they
available.
didn't know
Yeah,
about this or that, so their body didn't know about this or that.
they say about all these diets and things, sort of, oh yeah, you go on all the meat because that's what we used to do. Yeah, because they didn't understand some of the vegetables around them. They just ate what they were told to eat. It's like you can't. I mean,
Yeah,
and then don't get me started on how did you find out that fruit was okay to eat and that fruit wasn't okay to eat? Someone somewhere must have been either really ill or died or something like that.
yep.
Not going to
Hence
touch
why
that.
we've got to put it with the sweets. Oh my lord, dear, we had better wrap up here.
Yes.
I'll keep happening here. This is my favorite kind of conversation where it just randomly
You
goes
just
round the
where did
winding
that
road.
happen?
So
You never know. You never know with us. But again, we talk about anything. So if there's anyone that's got anyone out there that's got anything that they need to talk about, like stuff that's kind of come up, then yeah, let us know. If you've got things, especially if you've got things coming up for half term that you've heard about, let us know. We could share it on shows like this. We can share it on our pages. Yeah, that's what we do.
indeed, it's
So
all good.
you're here next week.
Yes,
Yes, it's the week up. Right, okay. So we're back to
it's the
normalish next week with Cecile back.
oh
Whatever
my
normal
god.
is.
So just on a quick note, let me just share something. It's all to do with this food again. Something that I learned recently. So I have taken when I go to the Flitwick on Friday. Every now and again, I buy lemon curd. I've been loving the lemon curd. I use it to sweeten my Greek yogurt. I learned, a friend of mine told me about it at work, etc. Anyhow, I was there last week and then they had ginger curd. So I'm like, oh, that looks nice. So I bought some of that. And then there was another customer came along and they picked up this other one. And that one was called lemon butter. No, I beg your pardon. It was called lemon cheese. And I'm like, well, what's lemon cheese? He says, well, it's the same as lemon curd, except it's made with butter. And I'm like, okay. I said, but surely, cheese, whey, curds, and all of that malarkey. So then he was explaining to me that apparently, initially, when this thing was made, it was made with the same process where they would put the butter in the milk. I beg your pardon, they would put the lemon in the, is it in the milk? But basically, they would curdle the milk and then they would mix it all up with lemon and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, I never knew that. I never knew that. So it was called lemon cheese. But now the one that you buy that is lemon curd is usually made with margarine or some other type of oil.
It's gonna be,
And I just thought, oh, okay. So, where you go, things that they've done traditionally change to suit the times.
Yeah. It does. It does actually show you what actually changes and what kind of
So interesting times.
A bit.
Okay, Oh, I suppose I better sign back on to work now. We're 5 minutes late.
Whoops.
And we have nice managers now, so we don't want to take advantage because they are very nice.
No.
They don't chase us every minute like the last lot used to. So we try not to take advantage.
Yeah, going back to the beginning of the show, the video evidence of me nodding back onto work.
Oh, God. That's it. It's true. But then again, was that what I was doing? Can you really tell from that picture?
Can you tell what I was doing? Yeah.
Oh my Lord. Honestly, I feel like I need to get back into watching my Criminal Minds and all of that malarkey.
Oh, yeah. That is me. I'm very much into all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to love it. All of them. All the Law and Order, the different strains of it. FBI, the different strains of it. Criminal Minds, the different strains of it. All of it. We loved it. We loved it, loved it, loved it. And when I was younger, I used to love Crown Court. Did you used to watch Crown Court?
Yes. So that was the first ever crimey kind of program I watched. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was good with the wigs. Anyhow.
Yes.
Have you got anything you want to tell us, Shelley? Have we got any information we need to share out?
No, I think that was everything. Yeah, it was just back to normal with the show next week, and then it's got all like the bits and pieces that are then going out for half term, which are just being released now from like the council and all that kind of stuff. What programs they got on? So look out for that on our pages. Right.
Exactly.
Thank
you for watching, everybody.
Keep remembering to comment as well if you're watching it on catch up. It all gets seen.
Indeed. All right. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Wherever that's going.